The episode begins like the freaking apocalypse happened. Like, that's how they spent the first 10 seconds of the special, showing no people as if COVID was so bad, every human died. Anyways, Butters is seen sulking on the doorsteps of his house and tells his dad if he can take him to Build-A-Bear, but he refuses.
But they said they were open again, so...
Yes, they're open, but we are not the Johnsons, and we do not go to non-essential businesses when it's non-essential.
Steven calls out some people over how they wear their masks until he sees that many people are outside walking to the town square for something. Randy marches outside talking about how hard it's been for businesses since COVID happened and proceeds to later announce that he is doing a pandemic special, and while Randy is excited to do it as if people really needed it, back in the car though, Sharon had other thoughts.
You are a child, Randy. These are very serious times and nobody wants or cares about your stupid special right now.
Seriously though, if a grown male adult is called a child in front of someone, then you really failed at life. After showing the title card as if it's not a 45-minute TV movie already, Cartman wakes up out of bed and sings a song about how much he loves quarantine and social distancing. I wish I could play some of the song, but I can't because of copyright issues. Cartman goes on Zoom for his online class and pretends that he is breaking up so that he can get out of class easily, to which he successfully does. And after finishing his song and eating a disgusting combination of cheesy poofs and milk, Leanne would then tell Cartman that school would open back up soon, and Cartman is having none of it.
There's going to be a big meeting. Sounds like they're trying to get you kids back to school.
We can't go back to school. There's a pandemic.
Cartman is even so angry he social distances against his own mom. I still don't get why Cartman has to be such a dick to his mom. Like, come on, defend yourself, girl. Meanwhile, Randy is selling his pandemic special, while inside the house, Stan is sulking to his mom about how much he hates school since the pandemic. Sharon gives his son emotional support, while Randy is just thinking about the successful wheat sales for the day and acts like a dick to Sharon about it. Randy questions if anybody is dying from COVID right now, and Sharon says that Jimbo, who's her brother and Randy's brother-in-law in the South Park lore by the way, is in the hospital due to the virus.
Jimbo's a fat alcoholic who'd be in the hospital anyway.
Well, as a Jimbo Kern supporter who's watched every episode that has him in it and made a full video about him, he's more than a fat alcoholic. And Randy said that shit about his own brother-in-law, by the way. Let that sink in. Shelley then breaks the current conversation, saying that the news is talking about letting the kids go back to school. While Randy doesn't care about the report, he does care when they mention a bat in the country of China caused the virus, and it would lead to a flashback showing that Randy and even Mickey Mouse had sex with the bat. You know what? This scene is so inappropriate that I can't even show it on YouTube. Later, Randy calls Mickey about the situation, and Mickey realizes that Randy caused the virus, and Randy says that he needs to find the bat, and that if Sharon finds out, she will, and I quote, be a total bitch about it. You know what? I'm not going to even hide it. Randy and Sharon's relationship to me just feels like that of the relationship of Peter and Lois Griffin, where they both fight and bicker in every episode of their shows recently, and becomes extremely overdone after the first 1 or 2 times they do it. I just hate it, really. Like, didn't South Park explicitly not want to adopt any of Family Guy's traits? Think about that. Meanwhile, Cartman runs over to Kyle's house, all while social distancing many people from him, and angrily bangs on the door and throws his distance flag by breaking a window in the process. Cartman asks Kyle for his dad, since he needs a lawyer, and then tells Kyle that they're making him and the other kids go back to school, and Kyle wouldn't care less.
So? What the f***? You really want to go back to that slavery? I want an education. I want to be able to compete for a job when I'm older. Now, whatever your messed up beliefs are about wanting to go to school... You really want to spend the next year on Zoom? You don't have to be on Zoom. There's a million ways around it.
Cartman would tell him that if they take away Zoom and social distancing, he'll be out of his room talking to Kyle, and Kyle tells him that he's doing exactly that right now.
Oh my god. They won't get away with this!
Meanwhile, Randy is walking around town, seeing the devastation of COVID and acts sad over it all. Randy, I know what you're sad about. You're facing the consequences of your own actions. No one's feeling bad for you, dude. A random man would notice Randy and tells him how much he loves the pandemic special and supports him of what he's doing. Yet the man talks so much to Randy that he angrily yells at him and walks away. What a dick. Mr. Mackey would be talking at the kids' parents through Zoom about how to get their kids back into school, and it would go from questions to insults at each other in less than just 5 seconds.
Well, it's really not a mask if you wear it down around your chin. That's a chin diaper. There's no real proof that a mask even does anything. Spoken like a true redneck.
Oh, you!
Mr. Mackey would mute everyone as punishment and then unmute everyone, and the insults continue. Mackey mutes everyone again and continues going about his business and only unmutes people one at a time so that no more arguing can ensue. Mackey would then tell the parents that they hired new teachers that are looking for work. Who are these people exactly? The South Park Police. We even see Sergeant Yates have a pep talk with his crew to show where all this is going.
I don't want any unnecessary deaths. No unnecessary deaths. And let's show this town just what great leaders we can be.
The Marsh kids are getting ready for school while hearing on the news that a vaccine is in development. Randy tries to cover the TV and even find the remote to switch the channel so that no one finds out about what he supposedly did. The scientist then says that the virus didn't come from a bat, and Randy acts all in your face about it.
No bat involved. Oh yeah, it wasn't a bat, it wasn't a bat. It wasn't a bat in your face, in your face.
That was until they say the virus came from a pangolin, which results in another flashback, which shows that Randy also had sex with a pangolin, which is also so inappropriate that I can't even show a single frame of it on YouTube. And Randy would end up running out of the door. What a way to escape your own consequences. At the school, the students are seated in their desks, and Yates and Officer Johnson are their new teachers.
Let's start the day off with some math. Does anyone understand math? Who would like to lead the class with some math?
Okay, that was a bit funny. Carmen squeals like a pig as he refuses to enter the classroom and gets handcuffed to his desk so that he doesn't escape.
Kids, all right, come on. Let's settle down. Now we're going to do some finger paints. You got that? You're going to finger paint a marsupial of your choice, or a fun thing you did over the summer.
Okay. That was also a bit funny. Carmen starts to act out and proceeds to cough over Kyle and cause a school fight.
That's enough. Got him.
Oh my god, please don't tell me they just shot Tolkien, that racist son of a bitch. Meanwhile, many scientists look at the pangolin, all while Randy is blending in with the crowd so that he can take the pangolin. He successfully kidnaps the creature and dips. Back at the school, Mr. Mackey tells many parents outside that the school is under quarantine over a supposed COVID outbreak, meaning the kids are staying inside the school for a few weeks.
You were all exposed to a student here who was taken to the hospital due to COVID. Yes.
We were there, and Token was actually taken to the hospital because you guys shot him.
Yes, due to COVID.
Bro, that's so damn sociopathic. What the hell? At Tegrity Farms, Randy sees the news are reporting about the pangolin he kidnapped. Then he gets a package, and once opening it, he gets an actual heart with "You're dead" written inside the box in blood. Randy calls Mickey, and he says he only did it because Randy's a dead man over his DNA being needed for the vaccine. Randy would then have an idea by adding his DNA into his pandemic special to create a vaccine. Randy then puts it into action by breaking inside the hospital room Jimbo is in and uses him as a test subject to cure him from COVID. Randy then masturbates on the weed and rolls it up, and he gives it to Jimbo for him to smoke. Yet he looks like he does not want to take it. I mean, he's literally trying to cough it out. Justice for my boy Jimbo, man. Then, we see what quarantine life is like at the school, and it looks like an absolute prison. We would even see Butters go mentally insane over the pandemic and Build-A-Bear and get taken away by the police. Seriously, this kid can't catch a break. Sharon would then tell Randy that Jimbo is feeling better and she can take him back to stay with the Marshes for the time being, meaning Randy's vaccine was successful. Yet that means a lot more weed to masturbate in.
Oh boy.
Stan would talk to Kyle about how concerned he is about Butters and the other kids. Stan then calls President Garrison about the current situation and says that with the pangolin found, he can stop the pandemic, but Garrison resents doing so because his main goal is to get rid of the Mexicans. His words, not mine. Garrison then hangs up on Stan with the full-blown insult.
And you can eat shit off my balls and die.
God damn it!
Randy continues to sell his weed and add his DNA to it until Sharon says to Randy that something is wrong with Jimbo. Jimbo ends up falling ill again, but instead, he gains a mustache. Again, I wasn't expecting Jimbo to look this cute with a mustache. Randy would tell Sharon to not call the doctor, as he doesn't know what got him into this state.
Special.
What, Jimbo?
Pandemic special.
When Sharon walks out of the room, Randy does the most sickening and enraging thing anyone has done to Jimbo.
Shut up! You have no idea if it's because of the special. You could just be sick again because you're a fat alcoholic, and I am not going to jail for you!
Yeah, as you can tell, and even through the Jimbo Kern character analysis video I released months back, I hated how Jimbo was treated in this episode. He was given an unofficial vaccine against his own will, fell back into illness, even getting a mustache in the process, and being verbally abused by Randy. Yet, I want to remind you that in South Park, Jimbo is Randy's brother-in-law, especially since he's also Sharon's brother. So not only Randy abused his brother-in-law, but he abused his own wife's brother. What the fuck? Even when I saw this frame the first time I've seen this episode, I yelled out, I've lost all respect for Randy Marsh. I hate him. This is some of the saddest shit I've seen Jimbo go through in the entire show. Justice for Jimbo, man. Anyways, enough about rambling about my favorite character. Many causes for Randy's mustache virus are coming into the hospital as many people are experiencing it, and news reports are coming out about it, along with a speech from a veteran for advice.
We need to wear them over our mouths and nose. Are you out of your mind? You expect people to wear a diaper over their nose. That's disgusting.
Back at the school, Stan wakes up Butters and tells him he's gonna save him. He wakes up the other kids to tell them that he has to get Butters to Build-A-Bear and that they need to break out of the school to have freedom again. They break out of the school by weirdly ripping off the scene from Rio, and reports are coming in about it, and adults are going absolutely crazy over the current situation. Mayor McDaniels calls the police crew about the situation, and the police tell the mayor that if they have their stuff back, they'll do something about it, and she rightfully accepts. The police happily walk and drive around with their equipment back and tells kids to get back to quarantine and kills any kids that escape, including Kenny. The boys get Butters to Build-A-Bear and they successfully make it there. Yet they closed because of the mustache disease, and Stan decides to break in to build Butters a bear themselves. Meanwhile, Randy gets all jars of the special onto the back of the truck to throw away, and Sharon's having none of it.
This is not the time for you to be dealing with your f***ing marijuana. Somebody's gotta find him.
No, okay, hold on, I'm coming. Maybe we can just stop the special by the lake on the way.
You.
I'm honestly very supportive of Sharon calling her own husband out. The boys break into Build-A-Bear and they try to, well, build him a bear, while the Marsh parents are looking for Stan. Stan keeps trying to build Butters a bear, but keeps failing at doing so until they are caught by the police. When Stan refuses to surrender, the police lock their target at Kyle, and Randy stops them and shows the pangolin and admits he kidnapped it. Cartman takes the pangolin and tries to kill the creature until Stan begs for mercy.
I just want to have fun again. I wanted to see that I can go out in the world and do things that I used to do, but I can't. I'm not any better, and I don't care any more than anyone else. And I did all this because I just want my life back. I just want my life back.
Cartman then gives the pangolin back for the sake of his friends, and while they have the pangolin back,
Don't forget to get out and vote, everybody. Big election coming up.
too bad that line didn't age well. It would then be revealed that because the students of South Park Elementary are still on the loose, the town is in quarantine for the foreseeable future. Randy would then admit to himself that the marijuana went to his head and goes to Sharon to confess it all. But once he sees that Sharon has a mustache, he tells her he's gonna make more specials. Then once she realizes she has a mustache, the episode ends before we see any divorce papers being signed. So yeah, it's insane that it'll nearly be 6 years since the pandemic began. And there are some things about this episode that can be relatable to some. From having to do Zoom for school and hating the feeling of staying home for months instead of weeks. I truly felt that when the pandemic happened. In other words, I do like this episode for tackling such big issues and giving us something enjoyable to watch. And yet, one thing I absolutely hate about this episode is that Randy Marsh acts like a huge dick throughout the entire 45 minutes. Don't believe me? I'll sum it all up for you. Randy Marsh spent the entire episode putting weed before his family and tried to hide the secret that he caused COVID in the first place. He abused his own brother-in-law while he was dangerously ill, acted like a total jerk to his family, and even created another virus by giving people his own mustache, all just to help people out, when he was helping out absolutely no one. Yet Randy isn't the only mean one in this episode. Carmen spent the entire episode whining and bitching over not wanting to be close to anyone because of social distancing and how much he loved being at home and doing nothing. When he didn't want the pandemic to end, he tried to kill the pangolin so that the pandemic can go on forever. Yet it was only because for the sake of his friends, he returned the pangolin, and while a vaccine could be made, it was all for naught when Garrison killed the scientist along with the pangolin itself so that not only he can continue his dangerous agenda, but also to let the pandemic go on for eternity. So, as how Matt Neff would do it, F you Cartman for trying to make the pandemic go on forever just to satisfy your own ego. And of course, for putting weed over everything else, abusing his own brother-in-law, and being the person that caused COVID. Fuck you, Randy Marsh. Anyways, that's the end of my explanation. I thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you have your own thoughts about this episode of South Park or want to suggest me something else to summarize and review, you could tell me in the comments. I'm curious to hear about what y'all think. If you enjoy this video and want to see more content like this in the future, then like the video and subscribe to the channel, as this channel runs entirely on your support, as without it, I won't be able to make videos like these. Anyways, until then, I'm Braxpo, and I will see you around. Stay chill, peeps.